bulk of the reduction that we are seeing in the growth activity is coming from a reduction in investment by the corporates. As far as we can make out, the SME sector is continuing to invest strongly.
Is taking a little bit of tumble, and that is not because of consumer acceptance issues, that is because of corporate governance
Absolutely.
issues.
Bright minds, innovative ideas, and a newfound entrepreneurial spirit. But does India offer the right ecosystem for entrepreneurs to do business? And do we need a national entrepreneurship policy? That's the topic on We Mean Business today. I'm Shweta Rajpal-Kohli. Let me introduce our guests on the show. With me here, Mr. GS Bhalla, CEO and founder of Cocoberry; Rahul Khanna, Managing Director of Canaan India. Also joining us, Alok Kejriwal, CEO and co-founder of Games2win; Dr. Krishna Tanuku, ED of Wadhwani Center for Entrepreneurship Development, ISB Hyderabad; also Manish Sabharwal, Chairman and co-founder of Teamlease Services. Thank you all for joining us and being with us here on this very, very special show. Let me throw open the discussion to first try and understand the hurdles to entrepreneurship, how easy or difficult it is really to do business in India and to set up a new business in India. Let me start by actually asking the Cocoberry founder all about his experience, what's it been like, and what does India really need to do to improve the overall ecosystem for entrepreneurship?
First and foremost, this is not my first entrepreneurial venture. So I've always been an entrepreneur, and I've seen 2 decades of the change that has transpired in India. Back in the 90s, when I started my first company, anybody who'd speak to me about getting into, what they conventionally call as, I want to be a businessman, I used to say, here are 5 names, and go to the ROC and get one of them approved.
Okay.
So you used to have to go to, ROC office in Asif Ali Road in Delhi to get a name approved. Things have moved on from there considerably, but I think we still have a long way to go. And as far as the whole ecosystem is concerned, I think there is a consensus amongst everyone at this point is that, since small business and new entrepreneurial ventures, innovation ultimately becomes a game changer in developing economies. I think this is an area that we need to considerably focus on. And from my perspective, we've come a long way, but we still have a very long way to go.
All right, we seem to have come a long way. You mentioned innovation, but does innovation always get the right atmosphere to actually develop from just being a dream, something which has come as an idea, into a real business opportunity that can be scaled up? And that's where I'd like Rahul to bring his perspective. While he's saying things have come a long way, there are others who also believe that we are facing a situation of over-regulation right now, where just the amount of paperwork, the regulatory hurdles are making it almost impossible for entrepreneurs to say that, yes, it is easy, I want to set up a business, I can go ahead and do it.
Sure. So I think the tragedy is we're a nation of small entrepreneurs, right? And what we really need to is be a nation where a few of these break out, a few thousand of these businesses break out and become large companies.
Right.
We have probably 100 million people joining the workforce in the next 10 years, and we need to create many, many more jobs. The public sector is not doing a great job of job creation. Actually, jobs are falling. Agriculture is not hiring many more people, and sectors like banking are actually stagnant over the last 20 years. They've not added any headcount. So actually, we do need many more jobs to be created. I think innovation, will get funded. However, scalability is also very important.
Right. Okay, so capital and scalability. Mr. Alok Kejriwal, you're someone who's been there, done that. Explain to us how, in fact, why don't you advise entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, on how to go forward with these 2 aspects of the entire value chain, scalability as well as funding. Let's talk about funding first.
So, I think my tenet has always been, capital chases entrepreneur. Entrepreneur never chases capital. If you're begging out there and trying to get money for something, I think you're starting off on the wrong foot. If you do the right things, you get noticed. I mean, I have my venture capitalist, Rahul actually funded my company 5 years ago, and we had met and we kind of talked, and neither of us pleaded each other to get funded. So I think it's a very clear understanding of, I'm doing something that the VC likes and the VC does something that I like, we marry each other. And if you waste your time running after money, then you're not going to do your business. On the scalability part, to be honest, there's no mantra, there's no recipe. You can't read it off a cookbook or in a business school. These are the 7 things you do to scale. I mean, scale happens when a lot of people either like what you do or they don't. So I don't think people should or get obsessed by, I will only scale this. I think it's getting it right, and getting it right for simply getting it right. Nobody knew Twitter because it sounds so stupid. How do you use a @ handle and tweet a message? But it's massive scale because it turned out to be useful. So I think if you do something really useful for a lot of people, that's scale. There's no other dictionary meaning to it. I think the world has shrunk. I think we're obsessed about India. I think we're obsessed about what does my neighbor guy say and what does my market say. If there are enough entrepreneurs in India, there's enough venture capital. Rahul again comes from an international firm. There are lots of people who funded Games2win from external sources. You can be a VC from India, from the US, funding an entrepreneur in India for markets going back to the US. So it doesn't have to be India-centric.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.